we have got the news that Lachie Galvin is going to the Dogs, or probably going to the Dogs. To be more accurate about it, Danny Weidler, who we know is obviously well connected there at Channel 9, close relationship with Gus Gould. He has tweeted 16 minutes ago, I think it was, 32 minutes ago. Bulldogs have been made aware Lachlan Galvin wants to play for them. No deal finalised as yet. So that is the news. And now I'm getting text messages coming through or emails coming through from the Daily Telegraph talking about the fact that it is going to be Galvin to the Bulldogs. So here we go. Bulldogs set to win the race to sign Galvin from the Tigers. They're talking about a 3.5-year deal, so that would be effective immediately. So once again, we get the situation where one of the star players from one of the lower-ranked teams in the National Rugby League goes to the top team in the National Rugby League. Immediate thoughts on this, if this is to be the case?
Yeah, it sucks for the Tigers. Obviously, as soon as I heard the news or it broke that he was unhappy there, just as a neutral, I wanted, felt like the Tigers had got themselves in a better position at the start of this year and loved the thought of a combination of Jerome and Lachlan long term. That's not the case now. When I was looking at fits, in terms of fits in the halves, spine, etc., Bulldogs probably wasn't the team that I pinned Lachlan Galvin to originally. But the reports are, and then once it was made, everyone was made aware that he was indeed available at the start of last week, and it was down to 2 teams. Fit-wise with Mitch Moses, I think would have served him better in the halves position long term.
Agree.
But looks like he's going to be playing at the Bulldogs. How that all fits together.
Well, go on. You've got to fit it. So there's so many things to come out of this. Firstly, what's it mean for the players there? What's it mean for Toby Sexton? What's it mean for Matt Burton? What's it mean for Connor Tracy in that fullback position? Next thing we've got to ask ourselves, what money is he getting? I believe that Parramatta would have been offering him more money. I totally agree that the Galvin-Moses half 5'8" combination feels a whole lot better. It might be that Lachlan Galvin thinks, no, I'm an on-ball number 7 and that's who I am. I don't know. I think we're dealing with a really unique individual. The other part of this is, has Isaac Moses spoken to Phil Gould? Because that hadn't happened in a long time. But as they say, business is business. And we know how effusive in his praise Gus Gould has been about Lachlan Galvin. There's a lot of unanswered questions at this point, waiting for confirmation on this news.
And I can have my opinion on how I think things are going to flow out, but really I have absolutely no idea. The player to miss out in the current spine, I'm hearing, is going to be Connor Tracy. That's the mail I was getting last week. That the plan was to move Toby Sexton will stay at halves in the 7 jersey, Lachlan Galvin to 6, and then Matty Burton moved back to fullback. But it wouldn't surprise me
Matty Burton to fullback. Can he play fullback?
Those were the rumours last week.
Well, here's the other thing. Is he a better fullback than Connor Tracy? He made a couple of errors on Thursday night. He has been excellent for the Dogs.
He's been so good. Him and Toby Sexton, they've been the 2 players that have just been talked about, I think, for the last 12 months.
Yeah.
12 months is when sort of the Bulldogs showed signs that they were a top 8 team last week, and they were able to go on a bit of a run. Could they play finals footy? And then those questions turned from can they play finals footy to can they become a top 4 team to now can they win the minor premiership?
Yeah.
With Lachlan Galvin and all the rumours were around Toby Sexton, I think you'd have to go Galvin at 7, right? And give that a crack first, unfortunately at the expense of Toby Sexton.
That feels like the best option for me. The way he plays and the way you feel he wants to play and the way Burton plays and the way Connor Tracy plays and the way Toby Sexton played, which was almost reinforced on Thursday night. And it's probably not fair to Toby because he got this young 21-year-old that's in the same position going head-to-head, and you're like, one guy is absolutely controlling the match and the other guy is drifting in and out of the match. You go, oh, well, it's Toby Sexton that's got to go.
Yeah. And like you said, Connor Tracy didn't have a great game as well. I think they were both feeling the the pressure, hearing all the chat, and they say they're off social media and they say don't read the news. You do, you see it.
Of course you do.
You can't. It's hard, it's so hard. You can go down to the local cafe and the guy reads the paper down there and he can relay the news to you. Like, that's how easy it is to sort of find out what people were talking about, asking you questions. So, and it's only human for those guys at that point of their career and the level that they play at to feel the pressure.
Of course.
You know, they're solid first graders without being stars that are probably going to make most teams, but are not a guarantee. So you get an opportunity to get a guy like Lachlan Galvin, who we all think has a whole nother level in front of him.
Yep.
And the projection to be the way the Tigers thought about him and being $1 million player, probably going to get him for unders. It sounds like they're going to get him for about $650 to $750. And that's the right price for Lachlan Galvin too right now. I thought he was going to get overs because teams were desperate.
Yep.
But when the whole Tigers saga happened, like it did, it worked out well for the Bulldogs and the Eels because they looked at it and gone, all right, well, Tigers are no longer in play here.
Yeah. Price
comes down.
Yes.
We've only got 2 bidders.
Yes.
No one wants to touch any of the rest of the mess. And we get him for the price that he should be paid.
So this article, Sydney Morning Herald, co-written by Michael Chammas, Danny Weidler, Dan Walsh. It's expected to be fast-tracked. Sources speaking on the condition of anonymity, his desire to play under Cameron Ciraldo, and a link with close friend and Bulldogs assistant Luke Vella, who coached him at Westfield Sports High. That was the link. Will win out over an increased offer from the Eels. So the Eels offering more money. He's going to do what he thinks is right for himself and go to the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. The Bulldogs have a history of paying transfer fees. They paid $500,000 for Carl Oluwapu.
They did too.
Yes. So they're $165,000. They're thinking of for Carl hadn't played NRL.
The transfer fee for that number, it was always it was really confusing. I'm just going down and looking. I'm trying to find the date, Jimmy.
Of
West Tigers at home, CommBank Stadium against the first place Bulldogs.
Is
the 3rd of August.
Wow.
Round 22.
Round 22. All right, there's one to look forward to. He could be playing this coming Monday, Easter Monday. Sorry, Holiday Monday, not Easter Monday.
The Oluwapu one. Yeah, $165,000 is chump change for NRL clubs. For a player of his talent and expectations.
So here's the thing to think about. Why did the Tigers put such a low transfer fee on Lachlan Galvin? That's low.
That's
right?
really low. I have no idea. Have you got any ideas of why?
They just want this court thing, the legal.
That makes sense.
They just want the legal issue to go away.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And by all reports, that had to be something that was ticked off before they even considered the moves. So there must have been conversations between Lockie Galvin's team and the Tigers that has been squashed for him to then come out and say, all right, Bulldogs is my destination. Let's get it. Let's cross the T's, dot the I's. Yep, and get it done.
Thanks for watching. For more great content, subscribe to SEN League, your home of the greatest game of all.